Hello, everyone. Welcome to Snap Take. The meta seems to have resolved itself. Everything is getting calm as we approach the OTA and see what it will reset, except we have a new contender. Bounce has arrived on the scene as a new meta deck. But as far as just putting up points goes, if you want something simple that will put up points, you can do far worse right now than Kazoo. We'll talk about the bounce deck after this Kazoo list. This is a 2 video day. Video 1 will be Kazoo and bounce. Video 2, well, wait and see. We've got a danger list with a 77% win rate and a shockingly good Sauron list. But for now, Kazoo has arrived. Kazoo is basically one of the safest decks in the game, right? It puts up a lot of points using Blue Marvel, Khazar, and Marvel Boy. There is a severe weakness to Killmonger affecting Marvel Boy right now. So, like, you're just not going to see Killmonger, so Marvel Boy should be incredibly strong, right? Um, that means all your ones are strong. That means your Mockingbird is fairly likely to be very cheap. There is a bit of Enchantress, but not a ton, and as long as you keep your Khazar and Blue Marvel separate, you should have plenty of power that way. And assuming you play either of those, or either of those and Marvel Boy, your Gilgamesh ends up being one of the biggest things in the game. It's really simple, it's really powerful, it's Zoo. This deck needs Mockingbird and Marvel Boy, Gilgamesh can be Iron Man, and Surge can be Kate Bishop. All right, so Ant-Man's here because he's a 1/5 that can play for easily a 1/6, 1/7, or even bigger with Marvel Boy. That's just two good stats to avoid. Spider-Ham is extraordinarily disruptive right now. There's a lot of decks that are trying to combo off using cards like Living Tribunal, using cards like Human Torch, sometimes together. Hitting either of those with the Spider-Ham can just be a snap condition and auto-win. Squirrel Girl both makes your Mockingbird cheaper, turning it into a 4/9 is quite good, and it gives you +3 power every turn all by herself for Marvel Boy. Obviously, another incredibly strong play. Squirrel Girl also helps you fill lanes, which makes Dazzler up to a 2/8. Dazzler a 2/8, or again with Blue Marvel, a 2/9 is again stats that are good enough to just run. Black Hat's a 1/5, so it's in the deck. I'm not sure if Black Hat should be Hydra Bob still. I'm not 1,000% sold on that, but for now, Black Cat. Surge gives you the chance to steal an extra card, to drop an extra card out. Getting a 1 drop for free is incredibly strong. Hitting a Blue Marvel, Khazar, Gilgamesh, any of the top end with a Surge allows you to make plays at the end of the game that the opponent cannot play around and gives this deck an element of unpredictability that it otherwise sorely lacks. Dazzler be said, Marvel Boy plays for like a 3/13, 3/14, obviously incredible power, something you're happy to have. Shauna is almost backup Squirrel Girl, but she does make Mockingbird one cheaper. Rare are the games where you're going to want a Shauna and Squirrel Girl, but when you do play that Shauna, getting a 3/9 is incredible. If you do play both, getting a 1/9 is obviously game winningly strong. You are playing very few other of your 1 drops in those games, though, because that is 3 spots in one location and 2 in both the others, which means like Blue Marvel, Gilgamesh, Mockingbird is 3 more of those 4 spots. You only have room for one more thing. Be very careful. If you do that with Marvel Boy, though, you are fairly likely to win. Marvel Boy and then either Blue Marvel or Khazar, you are fairly likely to win, assuming you see the Gilgamesh Mockingbird. Khazar buffs the ones, Blue Marvel buffs the everything. Gilgamesh, because of all these buffs, gets stupidly huge, playing for a 5/20 or more, and then you get a very cheap 9 drop, good to go. A reasonable play. Fairly often you end up with just an extra card on your side. You end up with the 3/9 Mockingbird, and if you've played Squirrel Girl, now your Mockingbird will be a lovely 3/9. You play that the last turn with Shauna after you've played Khazar, Blue Marvel, Marvel Boy, and you're fairly likely to win too. This one showed up on Den's tier list. I've been waiting for Zoo to find the right build for Zoo to really become good since the OTA that got rid of Killmonger. It was only a matter of time. Zoo just puts up too many points too consistently to not be a at least a B tier deck, and so that's where we are. This one has a 57% win rate in 130 games. Turn 1 Ham over Squirrel Girl, and we'll play Squirrel Girl over Ham if we have Marvel Boy. Turn 2 is Surge almost always over Dazzler over 1 drop. Again, Marvel Boy will make Squirrel Girl go up the list. Turn 3, we almost always 1 drop Marvel Boy, even if we have no ones, over a 3/1. If we have no ones, we can play Shauna at this point. Turn 4, we're going Khazar or a 3/1, just fine. Um, Marvel Boy and a 1 or Shauna and a 1 are both fine. Blue Marvel or Khazar plus a Squirrel Girl on turn 5, and then Mockingbird, Gilgamesh, or Blue Marvel with a 1 drop with whatever else you can to end the game. You basically play Mockingbird as soon as she fits in the curve properly, and then you're just trying to play as many points with Gilgamesh or Blue Marvel at the end of the game as possible to go well over the top of opponents. Zoo is simple, Zoo is effective. If you want to win games of Snap while you're paying half attention, this is the ultimate beginner's deck. It's what you're supposed to play in Series 1, and the new meta has made it a viable endgame deck once more. Before we go forward, please hit that sub, leave a like, and leave a comment. It would really mean a lot if you helped us out. And if you don't want to help us out, well, poopy on you, my dear friends. We are giving away a Viv Vision this week. All you have to do is sub, like, and leave a comment. Your Viv Vision will be announced at the end of the week. There's only 2 more Viv Visions left to get, so make sure you claim it as soon as possible. All right, Doc Guapo is playing 2 decks. This one is the one he's playing a little less. They're both bounce decks. He has hit all of rank 3, flying up the leaderboard to his all-time high in rank, as without tech, without Cosmo, without Eliath, without running into a ton of Shadow King, bounce is in a utterly, absurdly, ridiculously powerful place. Um, this deck is less combo centric than move decks, but it's every bit as powerful. It's really, really great. We are not going to do a turn by turn for this deck. We're actually going to do a turn by turn for the more complicated version of the deck that he plays more often. If you use the turn by turn for this deck, you will be totally fine. The main difference is Beta Ray Bill. See, look, Beta Ray Bill is the main difference in these 2 lists. Beta Ray Bill offers you 1,000 extra combos that are incredibly strong. Having access to a 24 power card and a free 3 power to pump up Monkey is obviously very, very strong and helps this deck's consistency a seriously massive amount. This is not an easy deck to play. This is one that I personally struggle with, but climbing all the way up to 3, this is one that if you master, you can win an awful lot of games of Marvel Snap. This deck needs Sasquatch, King Eitri, Toxin, Monkey, Merlin, and Grandmaster. Also, by the way, props to Doc Wapo for sending me this list and helping with the turn by turn, because this one was a bit much for me. Beta Ray Bill can be Thor, or you can just play the earlier version. If you want, the description to both decks is in the the link to both decks is in the description to the video. Werewolf can just be Sage. You lose a lot there, though. Werewolf is significantly better than Sage for this particular version of the deck. All right, so Hood is here because getting multiple demons is incredibly strong, especially at the end of the game. You don't have to have Hood on your board because you run Beast, you run Toxin, and you also run Nico to blow it up or turn it into a demon. And, of course, you also run Merlin to either make it a 2 drop or make it be 2 extra energy. That's a lot of ways to get rid of Hood. Hood should never end up on your board, and you should be able to get, generally speaking, at least 1, but likely 2 demons out of him. Electra is really good in the meta right now. There's just a lot of 1 drops floating around that you would rather not deal with. Have Electra, have at it. King Eitri is one of the most important cards in the list. Protect with a Hood or Electra, assuming that you're seeing any Red Guardian. Strangely, Red Guardian is one of the nerfed cards I see the most now, even though I wasn't seeing it at all prior to its nerf, prior to the OTA. But King Eitri is very, very important because it gets Beta Ray Bill's Hammer. That's it. You want Bill's Hammer because you want to bounce or Grandmaster Bill's Hammer, a lovely 24 power Beta Ray Bill is backbreaking, game winning, utterly insane. Nico gives you a draw, amazing with the hammer, amazing with the hood. It turns things into a demon, amazing with Electra, amazing once you want to use Grandmaster, all that good stuff. Nico's incredible. Don't be afraid to copy Beta Ray Bill either, especially if you have Eitri out. You can even if you go, yeah, you can go like second Bill, and then you can play hammer and still bounce and pull other things off thanks to the presence of Merlin. Um, Toxin is your backup bounce card. You really, really, really want Beast for end of game Monkey, but you're happy to use Toxin as a bounce card, in particular, obviously for the hammer, because the hammer costs 0. Grandmaster is here largely to hit Beast. You want to play Beast early and then Grandmaster it to the center and bounce back a bunch of key cards in the mid game. That is the goal here. However, Grandmaster can also happily hit Beta Ray Bill's hammer. It can also, in certain situations, hit Monkey. Those are generally the cards you want to hit. Merlin gives you extra energy to end the game, which is obviously incredibly useful. You can polymorph off a card like Beast, or if you didn't see Eitri, a Beta Ray Bill as required. You can end up getting rid of a location that says you have a problem, and you can move around the werewolf without taking up space. Monkey at the end of the game is simply huge in this list. Yes, you can play it early and bounce it. No, that is not the plan here, but it is a thing you can do. Particularly nice in the play pattern where you go 1 drop. Sorry, no, no. You go 0, you go hammer and monkey mid, and then you play grandmaster on the beast. That's going to bounce the hammer and the monkey. The monkey it got 2 extra power there. It's now a 37. You should probably win that game because you have a 24 power Beta Ray Bill and then the 7 power 2 cost monkey plus whatever else you have. Hopefully you had a 1 drop in that location to begin with too. That's also all these cards are going to move around. Werewolf, who's going to be stupidly huge. Beast, again, making things cheap is good. Beta Ray Bill gets ungodly big, especially, God forbid, there's any like doubling locations or strength buff locations, you just win there. And because you're playing, generally speaking, let's say you're going the Grandmaster out for Beast on turn 5, you're playing Grandmaster, a couple ones, and a Grandmaster. Let's say we're playing Nico Electra Grandmaster, right? And then we're also playing a hammer potentially, and we're also potentially playing a Merlin spell to like draw to get energy off a hood. That's 5 cards. That's a 110 Sasquatch. Then you have a 3 whatever monkey, and then you have that 24 power Bill and the werewolf and yada yada. So turn 1, King Eitri over hood. You can snap on 1 with Merlin Wolf, should you be so inclined. You're basically snapping when you have Merlin Wolf. Turn 2, Merlin over a 1-drop or just pass. Turn 3, Werewolf. You can also set up Beast so you can Grandmaster for turn 5. Toxin Hood, if Beast is in hand, is a perfectly fine play. Turn 4, we're going Bill, and we're trying to manage our hand space otherwise. Turn 5, Beast and Ones, or Grandmaster the Beast. We can use Toxin as our bounce card if we don't have Beast, or if we have the, or if we need that hammer to come back to hand. We can use Once in Future here, and we absolutely want to use Once in Future here on either the already used Eitri or the Electra or the Hood. Polymorph is meant for Beast on turn 6. We can even drop a Bill this turn if we have Eitri, because we can now Grandmaster that hammer to make a 24 power Bill still. If we don't have any bouncers, we're going to get out Monkey and hold Grandmaster, and then we're going to Grandmaster Monkey and play a bunch of ones on turn 6. Turn 6, we dump hand, Monkey, Sasquatch, hammers, demons, win. This is disgusting. This is so many combos, so many different ways to put out power. You have literally 4 different like serious lane winners here. You have Beta Ray Bill, a 20 plus power lane winner. Hitmonkey and Werewolf are like high teens power lane winners. Sasquatch is a cheap 10 drop and multiple demons for 6 power each, and you can play all of them in concert. This deck is absolutely gross. Props to our friend Doc Guapo for coming up with it. If you need this one written, by the way, this has to be our Marvel Snap Zone article today, so please make sure you check that out as well. If you're interested, I should be streaming shortly after this video goes live within the next hour or so at twitch.tv/pulseglazer. In addition, I have a question. If you want to win that season pass card, are you playing ladder now or using diner? A quick note on the exploit to diner. Glenn has implied, and a few people have messaged me, that the exploit mentioned in yesterday's video is not working. The one where you both snap at each other and then retreat on turn 4 is no longer working. They seem to have disabled it so to where a random person gets the win at that point, which kind of sucks. But I mean, I guess we got a few good days out of the exploit. The world doesn't end. And that's it. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with honor. Thanks. Don't forget, though, that this is video 1 of 2 of today. If you want to see the second video, it's live for $5 and up Patrons right now. If not, hey, no harm, no foul. And I will see you later today for that second video. Please, again, do check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. Thank you to Jonesy Snap22, Abigail Gleason, Mandatory Burnout, It Regardless, LAB, Inc., I Am Frostman, Hota Navidete, Prime Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryanwood, Snap, Run Wrench, Go for Kev, Keltor, Caretix Lee, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel, 3K, Black Dahlia, Perofrost, Code, Nope, the Goat Seeker Code, Hallowed, Synthetic, Absolute Shannon, Jerte, Casual, Dark Moogle, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Extra and Skippy G are our rhyming friends. Jessica Gamble, Sup Jess, Mr. Slush, Seth the King of Bros, Brup, The Great Zoo, Werewolf, Kepsi Hoda, Clam, Colonel Foreman, Rob Subin, David G. Wingfield, Stephen, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Matt B., Ray Sean Smith, one of our new patrons, and Charles Washington, another new patron. Thank y'all so much in this time for showing that extra love and support. It means the world. Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy Q, they are Cute Town. Just out one big band. Cactus, Jack Reapser, Steve0131, Yo Marco, Ted Pro, Quid Pro, Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, Snap Decisions Podcast killing it, Bickety Boom Bot, Bricks to Click Green, Goblin, Unibot B2, Flan 56, Spectrum Mix, Hoot, Only Fox, Matt H, DJ Macagics, No Freaking Flex, Nick, The Sleepy Geek, Toxic Soul King, Zadric74, The King of Canada, JJ, Deadman Falcon, Father Newman, Two Ties, The Great Laura Devs, The Pirate King Tucker, and of course Gunny T. The T, as always, stands for This is the Truth. There's a second video. I'll see you then. Peace, love, joy,